Okay, Kira, here we go. The pieces you're going to need for your mask are a colorful piece of material, a piece of lining for an adult mask that's cut to 7.5 by 8.5, 7.5 by 8.5. You're going to pin these two pieces wrong sides together. Your lining's not going to really matter either way, but make sure your colorful side is towards your liner. You're going to pin that just in the middle, just to kind of keep it together. Then you're going to, you might want to do this ahead of time, fold your fabric in half along the 8.5-inch side to find the center. Then you're going to line that up kind of evenly. And this is just to center this piece of coffee strip. This is a half of a piece of coffee strip. It has adhesive on the back. And I'm just going to line that up. It's a little over 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I just put that in the middle there. Take my strip off. And I'm going to stick that down just to keep it in place. Okay, that's going to be the top of your mask. Your elastics, I believe Grandma said for the 1/4 inch, I'm using this little round braided elastic, but I'm giving you some 1/4 inch elastic. I don't have too much, but I have more coming. I'll let you know when it's coming. I think Grandma said 7 inches worked well for adult masks. Okay, so then you're going to start, you're going to put your top edge here. And you're going to start at the bottom edge of your mask. And you're going to take a 1/4 inch. So your machine should be marked. So put your thing at the end of a 1/4 inch. I always drop my needle. You'll have to do that manually, I think, because I don't think your machine has it. Hold your back threads here. If you hold your back threads here, you won't get that little silly little knot. Go forward a little bit. Then reverse. Not a lot, just a couple stitches. Then you're going to sew all the way up to a 1/4 inch from this corner. So come down here, sew to the edge, leave your needle down, which you'll probably have to manually put yours down, and then turn so that you'll be sewing this way. But before you start sewing, you're going to take your elastic. Now you're going to take a flat piece of elastic, so yours will be like, this isn't elastic, but you'll see what I mean. Yours will be like this. Mine is a little round piece. So lift your presser foot up. I use a pair of tweezers that work very well for this. I don't know, I'm not sure how well you can see. But you're basically going to squeeze your elastic in underneath your presser foot. So lift your presser foot up and put that in there. Let's see if we can get that closer for you to see. So that's just right in there. It's just sitting right underneath. And when you put your presser foot down, that will help hold it in. Sorry if I'm making you sick by this video, but I don't claim to have any great video skills. Okay. And like I said, if you have a pair of tweezers, they work excellent for doing that. So then you're going to, your presser foot should now be holding that elastic in there pretty well. You're going to line up your edges again. You're going to make sure your elastic is out of the way of your seam. You don't want to sew over it. You want it to be going that way. And then you're going to sew down. Again, a 1/4 inch, and then stop about, 3/4 inch from the end. Then you're going to reach in. This is where tweezers come in well again. Sorry, I hope I'm not blocking with my other arm there. And then you're going to bring that and stick that elastic right underneath there. Then you're going to go forward. Oh, and I forgot to do this on the other side, but you're going to want to back stitch too over that elastic. Back stitch and forward again. And then come up to 1/4 of an inch from your edge once again. Turn the corner. Now here, what you're going to do is you're going to sew along here, being careful when you get to this edge. And you might want to use the zipper foot, because if you use the zipper foot, you have your zipper foot on like this, you're going to attach your zipper foot here's my other foot this way. So when it's on there, it's like that, and then this can ride over the left edge of this, and then you won't hit your thing. I have a little stitch in the ditch foot that I'm using. I better put my thing over a little bit, and then I'm going to keep sewing all along there to the other edge. Turn my corner, take my other piece of elastic, then once again you're going to put that in there so that the elastic goes out to the center and you have a little 1/4 inch edge sticking out there. So you're going to go forward, back up, forward again over the elastic a couple times. So about 3/4 from the edge, reach in, pull this around here, and tuck that in. And like I said, your zipper, your foot should hold that down for you. And go over, back, over. And this doesn't have to be, you know, skillful sewing. You're just getting this done to get it done. Let's go one more stitch there. Match up your edges. And here's where you're going to want to leave your space so that you can turn your mask. So, 2.5, 3 inches. Back stitch. Now I leave it just like that, and then I start sewing my next mask. And I just push it down like that, and I sew my next one. Then I don't have to worry about any bunching of my threads. You don't get that thing. Okay, but if you were just doing one, you'd cut it here. Okay, then you take out your pin. I always check first. I reach in and I pull on my elastics, and I make sure that those elastics are in there well before I clip any corners. Because once you clip your corners, it's going to be a lot harder to sew in your elastic. So then clip your corners, not too close. You don't want these to pull out there, but enough so that you can get rid of at least a little bit of the bulk. Okay. Now we're gonna, oh, you know what? Let's leave this here. I can turn it right here. Okay, now we're gonna turn our mask inside out. Like I said, you don't need too big of a space. You're really only turning this little thing here. Use your elastic to help pull those corners out. And also use your tweezers. Don't use anything too pointy like scissors, because you'll have a tendency to cut your fabric. So something kind of blunt. Chopsticks work really well. Maybe I'll stick a chopstick in your little bag of goodies that I give you. Sometimes I go in there and, you know, try to get that open nicely. Pull this side out. I also find that it works really well if you can kind of do that on the corners just to get it out. Okay, so now we have our mask ready to press and put our pleats in. Okay, now on to part 2.